Hey everyone, welcome back, and make sure you tell yourself what's good today. Before I freak you out with what I'm going to tell you, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I can already feel the momentum building, and it's all because of your help, so thank you very much. Okay, here's the deal. For people who love running like myself, we'll take every moment we can to share whatever knowledge we've gained to anybody who'll listen. And then there are things that no one ever tells you about that you just end up finding out on your own. I think that's kind of BS, so today I'm going to tell you about something no one ever talks about, and it's the real reason why I bought this running vest. So several weeks back, I had increased my long run to 6.5, almost 7 miles. And on this particular run, when I got to the halfway point, I was like, I'm feeling pretty good, so let's just go a little bit further. I try not to do that because if for some reason my legs give out or something happens, I have to walk all the way back to my car since I usually run without my wallet or my phone. Anyway, I make it back to my car and I get home, and the first thing I do is go pee. So I'm in the bathroom, big smile on my face because I just set a distance PB, and then suddenly my smiling face turns to shock. I was horrified. I'm staring into the toilet as this dark stream of blood flows out of my body. The whole reason I started running was for health reasons, and now running was going to be the cause of my death. I've never had a major illness, but because of my family medical history, I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop, and at that moment, I thought it had. My stomach drops and I start panicking. I didn't recall eating beets or anything else the night before that could have turned my pee red. But strangely enough, nothing in my body hurt. So what's the first thing you do in this case? Self-diagnose, right? I start Googling the symptoms, but after reading a few articles this time, I actually started to calm down. From what I'd read, this wasn't going to be the end of my life. Have you ever heard of runner's bladder or marathon bladder? The scientific term is called hematuria, and that means having blood in your urine. And it tends to happen when you run about 10,000 meters or beyond, which is exactly the distance I'd run that day. In running-induced cases, the symptoms usually go away in about 72 hours, and they did. In fact, later that day, I went to pee and everything was back to normal. I felt like I just lived a near-death experience. Now, they don't completely understand why it happens. It's possible that it's caused by the repeated foot strike over a long period of time, but they suggest that one way to keep that from happening is to not have your bladder completely empty when you're running. Which brings me to the reason why I got this hydration vest. Now that I'm able to run 10K and farther, and I don't want to piss blood every time, I needed a way to carry my water with me. I hate the idea of holding a water bottle in my hand when I'm running, and those belts that have bottles attached to it, I feel like they'd probably throw off my weight. So the only other practical solution was a hydration vest. I did a little bit of research, and it seemed like the Salomon Sense Pro 5 was the most breathable and comfortable. That said, it'll never disappear on you. Don't fool yourself, none of them will. When it's hot, it's gonna make you feel hotter. At least this one isn't entirely black so that it can reflect a little bit of the sun with this white part. It's also kind of constricting because you have to have it snug enough so that when the water bottles are full and you're running, they don't bounce around. To be fair, I was aware of both of these issues, but it seemed like the Salomon Sense Pro 5 was the most popular one, so I thought I'd give this one a try. The material is super stretchy, so you could fit a ton of crap in here. I purposely chose the 5 over the 10 because I don't plan on running any ultras in the near future. I just needed something big enough to hold my water bottles. Now there is one more thing that I was aware of when I bought it, and that has to do with the design of the water bottles. The design of the old bottles used to look like this, and then they changed it to this. So if you notice, it has this hard round plastic on the bottom, and that's supposed to help it drop easier into the vest when the bottle is full. The added benefit is that as you're drinking the water and it gets empty, it doesn't scooch up like the old one does and start bouncing around. But because of the new design, this piece of plastic can dig into your ribs. Now, it doesn't happen to everybody, but of course, it happened to me. Oh man, the first time I wore this vest, I could feel it starting to rub against the left side of my body, my ribs, and by the end of that run, it was feeling pretty tender. After a couple days, I tried to run with it again, but I couldn't. So I ended up ordering online one of these old school bottles. So the fact that I got the vest on sale was kind of canceled out by having to get this extra bottle. So be warned, this could happen to you too. I know this sounds like a gripe video, but I am trying to be positive. This vest is a necessary evil for me, and if there were any other way, I'd totally go that route. So one last gripe, I promise. Because the inner lining of this vest, the front part of it is made up of a net-like mesh. I think it's to make it more breathable. It totally messed up these brand new running shirts I just bought. The material rubs up against your shirt and creates these tiny little lint balls, and I don't know what you call it, pilling? Whatever it is though, it pissed me off. So other than that, it's great. It holds plenty of water for my long runs. I like this black and white design. It's got tons of pockets everywhere to hold whatever you need. You know, your water, keys, gels, phone, ham sandwich, sunblock, whatever. Unless you're doing some seriously long hikes or runs, this is probably the perfect size for your everyday marathon training. So with all those caveats, this is a great hydration vest for your long runs. Like Clarence said in True Romance, better to have a gun and not need it than need a gun and not have it. One final thing, I wanted to bring your attention to something that is very important to me, and that's the ongoing writer's strike. Please show your support however you can. If you're in LA, you can join the strike. You don't have to be WGA to walk the line. Despite what you think, a lot of television writers don't make a lot of money, and the studios are even trying to replace some of them with AI. If you can't join the strike, you can get engaged in social media to help amplify the voice of the WGA. Just think about all your favorite shows and how much you miss them if it weren't for the writers. And that wraps up my writer's review of the Salomon Sense Pro 5. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please make sure to like and subscribe. Writer Run, let's get it done.